y'all. I am Evangelist Mel, and I am so delighted to welcome you and newcomers joining the Lounge Chair Podcast. I am so honored and so pumped today to have each one of you here for another captivating episode. I pray that this time we spend together will motivate you, uplift you, inspire you, increase your faith, and awaken your spirit. Now, let's dive into the episode entitled Discovering You Are Exactly Where You Need to Be. Today, let's explore the profound journey of discovering and aligning with your true path. The path that God has uniquely designed for you and me. Let's dive into something really exciting today, y'all. Finding and following the path God made just for us. So, the question is, have you ever found yourself at a crossroad, bewildered by the direction your life has taken you? I mean, like, really. Imagine meticulously planning every step only to find yourself on an entirely different path than expected. It seems as if life has its own agenda at times, presenting us with unexpected twists and turns and guiding us through detours that unveil new horizons and initiate transformative journeys. This journey, rich with surprises, challenges it just challenged us to find the strength and grace in the unplanned, reminding us that sometimes our true path is revealed not in the mapping, but in the journeying. This journey isn't always straight or easy. I mean, like sometimes it feels like we're navigating through a thick fog, unsure of which way to go. Or maybe that's just me. But here's the cool part. Those unexpected turns aren't mistakes. No, they are part of a bigger plan, a unique adventure that's all ours. Every twist, every turn is a step towards discovering who we are meant to be and what we are meant to do. Let's consider the journey of Esther. Esther found herself in a situation far from what she could have ever imagined for her life. A young Jewish girl. She became queen in a foreign land, raising up a position of power, at a time when her people faced the threat of elimination. I mean, it seemed like an impossible scenario, yet it was exactly where she needed to be. Esther's courage to step forward and to use her voice for such a time as this not only saved her people, y'all, but it also showed how God's divine alignment places us in the positions to fulfill our purpose, even when it seems unlikely. That's right. Her story teaches us that where we are right now, no matter how unexpected the turns are, no matter how we get off of our journey, it is a part of a greater plan preparing us for moments of profound impact. When life feels confusing, and it is confusing at times, right? But that's only a trick from the enemy. And your path is unclear. Remember Esther. You are in the right place at the right time, equipped and called for your unique message and mission. I have to admit, in a world that moves incredibly fast, filled with non-stop action, nonstop. I realized I was the one standing still, watching everything rush by, like rushing traffic, surrounded by stories of people's success and achievements. And I just couldn't shake off the feeling that I was lagging behind, stuck in a chapter I had long outgrown. It felt as if everyone around me was sprinting towards their dreams while I was left to wonder, Lord, why my feet felt glued to the ground. The weight of should be and could have been pressed heavily on my shoulders, clouding my vision with doubt and impatience. Definitely impatience. Despite my best efforts, acceptance seemed like a foreign concept, a state that seemed to always be just beyond my grasp. Spilling, it was just slipping away everywhere and wherever I got close to or too close to. The more I swerved to grasp it, the more it slipped through my fingers like grains of sand. This struggle wasn't just about reaching a destination. No, it was not. It was about reconciling with the journey itself, embracing the pace of my own story. I realized that the race I thought I was running against the world was actually a journey alongside the one who had charted my path with infinite wisdom and love. So no matter what I do, God still has that unconditional love for me to put me back on the right path. So here I am sharing my story, not as a story of frustration, but as a testament to grace. To anyone feeling stuck out there, to those who think they are falling behind, remember this. Please remember this. If you don't get anything else, remember this. Your story is unique. Your timing is divine, and your path is yours alone. The beauty of life isn't in racing into the finish line. It's in savoring each step, learning from each stumble, and growing stronger with every stride. Think about these moments when you stumbled upon something wonderful, something you never would have found if you hadn't taken the wrong turn or faced a setback. Those happy accidents aren't just coincidence. They are nudges from God, guiding us to our true purpose. As long as you stay in community, in communion with God, He will put you back on that right path for your true purpose. So if you're feeling lost or unsure about where you're headed, don't worry. Don't let it keep you awake one more night. You can't change anything. Only God can. You are exactly where you need to be right now. Every experience, every challenge is shaping you, preparing you for what's next. And the best part, you are not on this journey alone. God is with you every step of the way, lightening your path and leading you to where you are meant to be. So, y'all, let's embrace the adventure, the unknown with open hearts and minds. Let's trust in the journey, believing that the best is yet to come. And remember, every step, no matter how small or uncertain, it's moving you closer and closer and closer and closer to your true path. So keep going, keep exploring, and keep believing in the incredible plan God has for your life. He has already had your plan already set. Your destiny is already set. Every step you've taken is a meaningful part of your narrative. Where you stand today isn't a symbol of failure or delay. It's an essential chapter in your personal epic. Life, like an intricate dance, sometimes spins us around and around and around, and it spins us into unforeseen rhythms and steps. I mean, have you ever felt like you're just wandering aimlessly, unsure of where you're headed? It can sometimes, I mean, really, it can really sometimes feel like reaching your destiny is an impossible dream. Let's keep it real. Just when you think you found your way, life throws another curveball, tripping you up and leaving you feeling like you're falling behind, bogged down by dissatisfaction, disappointment, because the journey of your goals is taking longer than expected. But here's a thought to hold on to. Every great journey involves unexpected detours and challenges. These obstacles aren't signs that you are lost. Rather, they are opportunities for growth and learning. The moments when you feel most adrift after it often, are the times that you're about to discover a new direction or an untapped well of resilience within yourself. The story of the Israelites in the wilderness serves as a powerful lesson on the importance of faith, obedience, and trust in God. Their path was unique because it was not just a physical journey, but also a spiritual preparation, a purging of old, enslaved mindsets, and a time for a new generation to rise. If the new generation had to rise, one that would be ready to live out the covenant with God in a new land. Comparing their journey to ours, we might not wander in a physical desert, but we encounter our wilderness periods, time of trials, uncertainty, and spiritual testings. Our paths are different in context and covenant, but similar in the sense that our faith and trust in God are also tested. Our journeys are opportunities for growth, learning to rely on God's guidance and preparing us for the future He has promised. Just as the Israelites' journey taught them to depend on God for provision and direction, our challenges teaches us to lean on Him, trusting that He leads us towards our own promised lands, the fulfillment of His promise in our lives. Let this be your encouragement. You are capable of overcoming the hurdles in your path. And you know what? With each challenge you face, you are building strength, wisdom, and the courage to continue. Your destination is not just a place of reflection of who you become throughout the journey. So lift your head and keep moving forward. Keep pressing, keep pushing back the darkness, keep casting down those lies of the enemy. Trust in your ability to navigate the twists and turns of life. Your dreams are not only reachable, they are worth every step, every stumble, and every moment of discovering along the way. Keep believing in yourself, and soon you'll find that you are not just moving towards your destination, you're already living out your journey in the most beautiful, meaningful way, whether we understand it or not. God has reserved a special place just for you. Imagine making reservations at a restaurant set for a specific date and time. Now consider this. God chose the exact moment for your birth, the parents to whom you were born, the century you would live in, and even the place you call home. For over 2,000 years, God has been intricately designing each human like he does not make mistakes. He handpicked you and me for such a time as this, ensuring that we are exactly where we were meant to be. Remember, your existence is no accident. It's a divine appointment, meticulously planned and lovingly executed by God Himself. This divine appointment, y'all, it speaks volumes about your inherent value and the unique purpose God has for your life. You are not just another face in the crowd. No, honey, no, no, no. You are a masterpiece crafted with intention and precision. The time in history you find yourself in, the challenges and the opportunities you face are all a part of a greater plan designed to bring out the best in you and through you to impact the world. So step into your role with confidence and faith and strength and joy, knowing that you were meant for such a time as this. Listen, y'all, your journey is not random. It's not a path laid out. It's a path laid out by God. It is inviting you to discover the depths of your potential and in the breadth of your impact. God's timing, y'all, is perfect. He does not make mistakes, and His plan for you are good, filled with hope and a future. You are here not by chance, but by divine design. And I am wholeheartedly convinced that your steps are ordered by the Lord Himself. Accept it with faith, knowing that God's timing is perfect and His love guides every one of us and every one of your steps. Take comfort in Psalms 37:23. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in His ways. Your steps are ordained by the Creator, God Himself, who knows the path that leads to fulfillment and purpose. You are not merely walking a path, you are blazing a trail, guided by the light of your faith and the strength of your spirit. Be encouraged, y'all. Find comfort in the truth that your life is one of a kind masterpiece crafted by God's hands with a specific vision in mind, y'all. Do you want to know why many of us struggle to find contentment with where we are in life? It's because many of us overlook the real reason behind our dissatisfaction in life. It's not about our current situation, but rather a misalignment with how God views us. When we're out of sync with the truths God declares over us, we inadvertently give room to doubts and fears that whisper lies into our hearts and into our minds. Listen, this shift occurs when we lose sight of the fact that God has meticulously mapped out each step of our journey, holding a vision and a provision for our lives far greater than we can imagine. You know, acknowledging and aligning with God's vision for us is pivotal. It's written, "For I know the paths I have for you, declares the Lord. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future." Jeremiah 29:11. God's word is true, and He says it in His word. This disconnection from God's truth leads us down a path of self-doubt and fear, overshadowing the bright future He has envisioned for us. It's a subtle yet powerful shift that can alter our entire perspective, making us feel lost, even when we are exactly where we need to be. The beauty and the promise of God's plan gets clouded by our focus on the immediate, often challenging realities of our lives rather than eternal truths that He has spoken over our existence, our entire existence. When we start seeing things God's way, we begin to notice how challenges can actually make us stronger. This change in how we see things is a game changer, y'all. But there's a way to combat this drift from God's truth. It starts with immersing ourselves in His Word, letting the scriptures reframe our mindsets and renewing our minds and realigning our thoughts with His thoughts. When we saturate our hearts and minds with the truths found in the Bible, we begin to build a spiritual resilience against the lies of the enemy and the lies that seeks to derail us. You know, we start to recognize our worth through God's eyes, understanding that we are dearly loved, purposefully created, and meticulously planned for. Moreover, embracing a lifestyle of prayer and meditation on God's word, strengthening our connection to Him, providing clarity and peace even in the midst of uncertainty. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that God often speaks the loudest, reminding us of His presence and His glory and His promise and His unfailing love for us. He murdered His only begotten Son so that we can be back. Our relationship can be back restored with the Father. As we align our perspective with God's, we find contentment not in our circumstances, but in knowing without a shadow of a doubt that we are walking the path that He has laid out for us. This alignment brings a deep sense of peace and satisfaction rooted in the assurance that we are in the hands of a loving God who knows us intimately and has plans to prosper us, not to harm us, plans to give us hope and a future. Will you believe that with me today? Will you believe that with me today? Because we know that the enemy often uses his scams and his shames as tactics to derail us from the path of God's alignment, whispering lies that we are not where we're supposed to be, or that we're unworthy of God's love and His plans. He aims to magnify our mistakes and making us believe our past errors define our future in an attempt to keep us from embracing the fullness of God's grace and mercy. This strategy seeks to isolate us, making us feel alone and disconnected from the truth of God's divine purpose and journey. However, the reality is our worth and identity are firmly rooted in God's unconditional love, a love that assures us that we are exactly where we need to be. By recognizing this, y'all, we can reject the enemy's attempt at shame and confidently walk in our God-given path, knowing that we are aligned with His divine plan and surrounded by His endless grace and poised for the future He has in store for us. So let's challenge it. Let's challenge ourselves to listen more intently to what God has to say about us. Let's choose to believe in the path that He has designed, even when it's not fully visible. By doing so, y'all, we can often open our hearts to contentment and joy that comes from trusting in his perfect plan for our lives. So take a deep breath and trust the process and know that you are on the path you need to be, even if it's not exactly what you had in mind. Because let me tell you something, in the midst of life's twists and turns, remember that each detour is a divine brushstroke shaping your story. When things don't align with your expectations, it's a nudge to look beyond the surface and refocus your vision, okay? With richness that just unpredictably can bring. The Bible encourages us in Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean to your own understanding. In all your ways, in all your ways, in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path. This verse, it reminds us that even when our journey takes unforeseen routes, trusting in our Father's guidance provides a steady anchor. As we encounter unexpected turns, let us embrace them with a spirit of openness and faith in the journey of life. You know, it's essential to grant yourself the gift of grace rather than the harsh self-criticism of feeling you should be further along. Yes, life is a series of ups and downs. We all experience it. And it's perfectly okay not to have everything figured out. Allow yourself the space to lean and learn and make mistakes and evolve and grow and produce fruit. In doing so, you'll discover that giving yourself grace becomes a powerful catalyst for resilience, self-discovery, and a fulfilling journey. You know, as followers of Jesus, we understand that our source of hope and support comes directly from the Lord, our ultimate provider. When we pray and place our trust in him, his provisions unfolds. It unfolds according to his perfect timing, not necessarily on your schedule. The periods of waiting, seeking, asking, and patiently relying on him, along the moments of deep trust and dependence, have been the most significant growth experiences in my life. A healthy perspective. This is a healthy perspective on the progress, that acknowledges that life unfolds at its own pace instead of dwelling on perceived shortcomings, and focus on the lessons learned and the strength gained and the resilience developed. Listen, in conclusion, let the assurance that you are right where you need to be anchor your spirit. Accept the beauty of the unknown, for it is in these uncharted waters that you may discover treasures you have never knew existed. Your story is still unfolding, and each chapter, even the unplanned ones, contributes to the masterpiece of your life. So stand firm in faith, navigate with grace, and find joy in the journey. Listen, keep going, keep trusting, and keep your eyes fixed on your path ahead and the one that has created you and your destiny. Because let me tell you something, the best is yet to come, and the journey is just getting started. I've learned something this week. I've learned that when the devil is so afraid that we're going to have the true faith that we need to have in order to see these things come into fruition that God has spoken out for us. Because once we have the faith, nothing can stop us. Absolutely nothing. Keep praying. Keep hanging on. Work on a new vision for yourself and your path, because you are right where you need to be. And don't let anyone else, not even yourself, tell you otherwise. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Lounge Chair Podcast. Transforming thoughts, one thought at a time. Bye-bye.